Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke. Welcome back to Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. In the last episode, Katia moved to a new land to get a job, and did not get a job, and then had alcohol, and then blacked out, and woke up naked, but now has clothes made of paint. So, the Boyd wrote, "Hey, you're a decent painter." I guess that goes along with the whole penmanship thing. Those are marketable skills. Paint some pants and turn that shirt into a bra. She smiled, but said, "Hey, thanks! But you don't really have enough paint left to do anything more, and you don't really want to invite catsuit jokes." Frosted Warlock wrote, "Wrap the tapestry and pin the end with your arm in a way that make it look like a strapless dress. Only ever use your other arm inlet until you can find something to fasten it with." Doable, except the strapless part. You hear a door opening downstairs. Frosted Warlock wrote, "Go downstairs and see who it is. Worst case scenario, you're now a mistress, and even that counts as a paying job. Someone is coming in. You figure worst case scenario when you're drunk and say you inadvertently sought employment as a prostitute. Maybe this is the brothel proprietor returning? Whoops, or not. This woman has some very valid questions about what you're doing in her house." Jackaroo wrote, "Hit her with the book. I'm 70% sure that bows don't work very well at close range." Yes, you should be able to use the book to swat her out of the way and maybe deflect the arrow she releases. Then you can threaten her with the shard of glass before she draws another. Oh god, who are you kidding? She has a weapon. Between panic sobs that you attempt to explain that you have no idea how you got here. You had a little bit of ale at the docks, and the next thing you knew, you woke up naked upstairs in bed with an orc you've never met, and you think you really made a mess of her room, and you're really sorry, but please don't kill me. If that orc was her husband, you're also sorry, but you admire her progressive thinking on interspecies marriage, and you also think she has, and also you have very nice skills, and please don't hurt me, I won't do anything." Whoa, 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 she cut you off. Give me a second, my eye's freaking out. Ugh. It's okay. She just wanted to make sure you weren't robbing the place, and she isn't married to an orc. She admits she feels partially responsible for your predicament, since she was the one who got you that pineapple last night. And it was all pretty much downhill from there once you did the thing with the yo-yo and the pineapple. In the town square. In fact, you probably shouldn't show your face around town for a little while. You're kind of a big conversation topic right now. But it's okay. People won't remember it forever. In her line of work, she explains, she knows firsthand how quickly you can be forgotten. How did you end up in this town anyway? You tell her your story about how you came to Cyrodiil yesterday without any money, thinking you could make friends and get a job and start over from the ground up. But you messed up everything you tried, and at the end of the day you felt so awful that you started drinking again. You're really sorry and will do whatever you can to pay for the room you trashed. That's good, she says. She was already planning to ask if you paid for anything you broke. Now, what trade skills do you have, and how much damage did you do to the room? Well? Metaflare wrote, "Welp." Well? Acerbic Aves wrote, "Make inquiries about the nice lizard lady's name and occupation." You nervously sidestep the topic and attempt to do introductions instead. "Hi, I'm Katia Manigan. What's your name and what do you do, I guess? I'm sorry." Oh god's awkward silence, she should have just... She introduces herself as Quillweave. She's a novelist and mostly writes stories about the gritty, merciless struggles of the lower classes. She admits that might be why she finds you interesting. You basically introduce her to a whole new level of lower class. You thank her, but aren't really sure if that was a compliment. You go ahead and explain that her room is pretty much totaled. There is paint all over the place, several punctures through her wall, a broken window, a shredded bedsheet, a defaced book, and a pimped-out unicorn prowling around. You also apparently killed her fish. She tells you not to worry about the fish, though. She actually hates all pets and only gets them to watch them die. She says it's a writer thing you wouldn't understand. Okay. You tell her that you're willing to do whatever you can to make the damages up to her. Maybe you could clean up. You're also okay at painting, maybe that could come in handy? She subtly implies that she isn't ready to trust you with paint, but says she may have something you can help with. She's leaving tonight to do some research for her next book, but needs this letter delivered to the nearby city of Kavach as soon as possible. All you have to do is travel to Kavach, deliver the letter to the local bookstore, and then return with the reply. While you're there, you could pick up a new copy of the book you defaced. She'll give you money for the book, as well as enough for you to spend the night at Kavach before you head back. She's willing to trust you with the money since she needs this letter delivered quickly and found no one else available. At most, it will take 2 days round trip. She's confident that absolutely nothing could go wrong. You're ecstatic. You promise you won't let her down and that you will be the best and swiftest letter deliverer Cyrodiil has ever encountered. Quillweave uncomfortably chokes out that first she's going to buy some clothes for you and your orc friend. What do you usually like? You ask her what she means. She wants to know what kind of clothes you like to wear. She wants to help you get back on the right foot, that is to say properly fed and clothed, and she has never actually seen you when you weren't naked. Maybe you could just, like, draw how you like to dress? She could try to find something close to it. This is the first time in your entire life anyone has ever asked you what you like, regarding anything. You've never thought about it before. Plagarath wrote, You always dreamed with something like this. Noelle wrote, She kind of accidentally lead into a pirate somewhere along the way. I like this one. This one is really nice. And Grayscale Scavenger wrote, I support Noelle's design. You have the best idea! There's gonna be armor and jingly bells and rocky boots that shoot lightning and a fake beard. Oh, wait, this is stupid and unrealistic. You start over. How's this? On the right. Chloe says she should have no problem finding something like that since this is a seaside town. She also throws in a nice compliment about your drawing skills, which brightens your mood a bit. She's been meaning to buy some new outfits for herself as well, so she'll be back in an hour or so. She'll answer any more questions you have when she gets back. Until then, feel free to help yourself to whatever's in the kitchen. Hello, ladies. Has anyone seen a pair of red trousers? Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Katia, ask Quillweave to handle the orc. Quillweave quickly says something about how she's confident you two can work this out on your own, and okay, see you later, bye. She was out so quick. Hey, honey buns, how's it hanging? It's always hanging amazing, that's the answer. The orc introduces himself as Garuk Grow-Up. He heard you talking to that fine piece of scale. Sounds like he's not too happy about the room, but that's okay, he'll pitch in. He always keeps some coins lodged in his luscious steady pecs in case something like this happens. Check it! Kaboom! Pretty fucking amazing, right? He explains that he knows a guy in Kavash who can get this lady's walls and windows fixed on the cheap. Just take this gold up to Kavash and find someone named Fixes Homes. He'll get this place back to how it should be. Garug says the gold he was packing between his massive toned chest muscles should be enough to cover the repairs. You uneasily thank Garug for his contribution. You ask him if he'll be joining you on your trip to Kavash, but he declines. He's got to get his leave on, if you know what he's saying. He's saying he has to leave. Take care, Butterscotch, and thanks for the sweet lay. Before you can say anything else or mention Quillweave is out buying clothes, Garug gets his leave on. You are not entirely sure how to feel about this. Med Medina 007 wrote, Katia, you could have done much worse. The Final Wraith wrote, he's still probably one of the nicer guys you've had drunken sex with. Okay, you guess he's not the weirdest thing you've had drunken sex with. Thing? You've done worse, yeah. This isn't making you feel any better about yourself. Denial wrote, pick up some coins and go get food. Take a blanket with you. You might need it. It's not a blanket, it's a tapestry. The difference, as you understand it, is about 10 gold. Regardless, you gather up the money, bulk tapestry, arrows, glass shard, and lockpick and check out the kitchen. This stuff you're lugging around is getting rather cumbersome. You should probably ditch it or find a better way to carry it. Zaffa wrote, hollow out a watermelon, tie the tapestry through it as a strap. Well, bam, instant fruity tote. Metalflare wrote, tie up the blanket, tapestry, into a bag. Aryo Gatan wrote, so, what was the weirdest thing? Look, it's not important, okay? You've made mistakes, you know that. That was the old you. You're trying to leave that behind so you can focus on more productive things, like booping this kitty right here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, sorry, like this nifty hobo bindle you just made. It turned out way better than your fruity tote. That was a terrible idea. As an added bonus, one of Quillweave's brooms has been turned into a much more serviceable scrub brush. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Katia, oh god, oh no, those poor flowers in that face, mourn. Alas, these poor flowers appear to be another tragic victim of Quillweave's inadequate pet care. Any water that was once in this vase has long since evaporated, leaving the poor innocent plants to die of thirst. There was no way for them to escape their fate, but at least until the very end they had each other. You hope they find a way to flower heaven. They'll receive a proper cremation the next time she lights her fireplace. Wesself27 wrote, Katia! Try checking that rather large pantry/freezer with the candle on top. Sounds like playing. The other door is stuck. Maybe something sticky spilled over there? You grope around the other side a bit, but it just feels like some more bottles. Think about leaving her stuff alone. You've done enough to the house without stealing her spare stuff, said Dragonforge. Yeah, you've probably taken enough of Quillweave's stuff. You already owe her a lot, both figuratively and literally. It would be rude to keep taking advantage of her hospitality. Anyway, that bottle's making you think things you don't want to think about. You clear your mind by cleaning up that mesh you made with the watermelon. It's too bad too bad your idea to hollow it out and turn it into a fruity toad didn't work out. That would have been pretty neat. Wait, you hear the front door. You welcome Quillweave back and tell the orc already left nude. You both agree that was pretty weird of him. Maybe it's some orc thing you don't understand. You also mentioned you used her tapestry to make a bag to carry some supplies. You hope she doesn't mind? She says it's fine. It's not even a real tapestry. It's just a blanket she hung up like one. Here's some clothes. She hopes it's enough to she hopes they're enough to what you are close enough to what you you got those on fast, laces and everything. You explain that you've always been remarkably quick at getting in and out of clothing. Some people would consider this a skill, but for you it's always been more of a liability. She understands. Anyway, you can't imagine this ability ever having any practical applications ever. Now that you're fed and decent, here's the letter, 25 septums and a map of Cyrodiil. You just need to head northeast along the Gold Road until you get to Kavash. Take this letter to the proprietor of the bookstore and wait for his response. In that same store, you'll be able to get a new copy of the book you ruined. It should be about 10 septums, leaving you 15 for food and lodging. The final Wraith wrote, also, do you have to worry about bandits, goblins, monsters on the way to Kavash? You've heard stories about not traveling unless you're willing to fight to the death. You mentioned that you've heard some bad stories about traveling alone. The trip won't be dangerous, will it? She says as long as you stick to the main road, you should be fine. Imperial Legion soldiers patrol the roads on horseback and are stationed at most inns. They'll help you if you feel like you're in danger. If you run into any trouble, just keep moving as fast as you can until you find a soldier. But if something goes really wrong, here. It's a potion of invisibility. Chug it and run. These aren't cheap and she'll expect you to pay for it if you use it, so don't drink it unless you have to. You thank her, but admit you respect it like a weapon? Something to defend yourself with if you had to. She reminds you that these are bandits and monsters you're talking about, not balls of yarn. What do you think you can do? Quillweave uncomfortably apologizes for the cat burn. She didn't know those upset you. Also, I like how the burn lit the candle in the background. Katia, depart! If my computer... Okay. Oh, let's say if my computer would be so kind as to actually load that. Nitro Glide wrote, Katia, open the door and make your first steps towards Kavash. Trip and drop the invisibility potion. You pack away the invisibility potion in the safest part of your bag and very, very carefully leave Quillweave's house. You can't imagine how you feel if you broke something expensive due to your own clumsiness. Before you leave, of course, you have a couple more questions. Before you leave, said the final Wraith, you should ask Quillweave if you're in trouble with the guard. I mean, she said she's never seen you wearing clothes, and then you apparently did the pineapple and yo-yo thing in the middle of the town square. Are there any public decency laws you haven't violated? Most importantly, you checked that the city guard isn't after you or anything. I mean, you evidently made quite a scene. Quillweave says not to worry about it. You technically broke a few laws, yeah, but even the guards were all really impressed by what you did. Nobody thought it was physically possible. The Countess might have had something to say about it, but you ran away as soon as she showed up. You probably did more damage to your reputation than your legal standing, but you shouldn't worry about that too much. There's another female Khajiit who lives in this town, and people keep thinking it was her that pulled the pineapple stunt last night. You guys do look pretty similar. You say you hope you didn't hurt the Khajiit's reputation too badly about this, but Quillweave says not to worry about it. This girl's creative, she'll find a way to turn it to her advantage. Well, time to get a move on, you guess. You profusely thank Quillweave for all her help and promise you'll be back as soon as you can with a response from the bookstore owner and a shiny new book in hand. You decide not to tell her about Garug's money, that way you can surprise her and she won't be disappointed if something goes wrong. You consider hugging her but decide against it. She probably doesn't want to touch you. Actually, you're just too embarrassed because you've never hugged anyone before, but you tell yourself it's because she wouldn't want to touch you. Off you go! You slink out of town as discreetly as possible. Before you, the Gold Road stretches into the distance across the hilly countryside. You have a long journey ahead of you, but you also have a full stomach, clothes on your back, a good pair of shoes, and someone counting on you. You can do this, you tell yourself. This is the for real beginning of your new life in Cyrodiil. You are Katia fucking Mannigan, and you are going to Kavash! Shadow of the Lotus wrote, pose like an adventurer! You have no idea what an adventurer poses like, but try anyway. Maybe you'll try again later. Think of a heroic tune to hum along the way, perhaps something like this. Or this. Oh, it's an ad for Wix.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you my awesome new Wix website.
Good for
it's
you.
got everything I love, all in one.
Meow Mix comes in 2 varieties, original and seafood middles.
Okay. Or this.
Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance.
Okay. But yeah, on to Adventure Cadia. Have fun with it if you can. Okay, you get it. You look like a cat. That doesn't mean your idea of heroic tune is humming along with a cat flute jingle. That's just racist. You would like some music on the trip, though, so you sing along with the first tune that comes to your head. You're kind of just making up as you go along, but it feels fitting. And what did that give us? There doesn't seem to actually be a, That doesn't actually seem to be a play button, but I'll get back to that. I'll probably add it at the end of the video so that you guys don't just have to watch me download it, or possibly get viruses from the attempt. So, onward to those 2 trees, Frosted Warlock says. Milestone 1. Yo, Kavash isn't much further, your legs are getting tired. Remember to pick up some flowers along the way, Ryavas wrote. You walk on for a while? Pick flowers. You guess wizards or whatever are always mixing up magic potions using flowers and stuff. Maybe if you found some rare plant, you could sell it back in town. You don't really have any idea what a useful potion ingredient... what is a useful potion ingredient and was just a weed, though. Okay, so it looks like the music credit is Never Rising from Morrowind with vocal accompaniment by Cynical Canadian. So I'll definitely put that at the end of the video. If I can. Shazer wrote, 4-leaf clovers. Can't go wrong with 4-leaf clovers. If 4-leaf clovers aren't magic, you don't know what is! Safa wrote, mushrooms! If they aren't good for you, they'll probably kill you. Useful no matter what you're trying to do. Don't forget mushroom soup, too! The mushrooms prove kind of a hassle to pick, though, since they have these 3-leaf things tangled around the stems. Kinda come to obvious realization. 3-leaf vine, bee, poison ivy. You come to the obvious realization about the vines. Fuck! Try not to panic and cause undue damage, just cut your losses and quit dawdling. It's just poison ivy, though. It's not like real poison. Maybe you can find a stream and wash it off. Either way, you don't need any more setbacks on your way to Kavash. Those mushrooms and holy magical clover you found should give you a little bit of extra spending money, but you still want to make it to the city before nightfall. You throw the plants in your bag and continue along the road. Hours pass. You can encounter absolutely no water sources. Not only is this poison ivy starting to act up, but you're getting kind of thirsty. According to the map, you've got a long way to go until you reach Kavash. Suddenly, a familiar voice calls after you. Armak wrote, realize 4-leaf clovers can't actually be brining luck because if they did, finding them would be luck, which would cause a positive feedback loop, and given that luck must be a conserved property due to the commonality of zero-sum games that quickly concentrate all luck into a few individuals who started out slightly above average, which will be lucky enough to realize this, causing them to compete until all luck in the world belonged to a single individual. A good individual being the only one with any luck would not feel very lucky over it, and a bad individual would quickly just remove any other sapient, and is thus excluded from reasoning due to entropic reasons. Given this, the initial assumption is inconsistent QED. Realize this reasoning can be generalized to any luck bringer, which can be found, usually mainly luck. Fakey fake. That actually makes a lot of sense. You're a little disappointed. You kind of like to think that this thing was increasing your luck by some minuscule yet significant amount. I mean, at least until you sold it, but who would want a dumb mutant clover that doesn't do anything special? The final Wraith wrote, My, if it isn't Garug, grow up! What a pleasant surprise. Greet him politely and make sure you don't read the map wrong and are headed in the wrong direction. Hey, Corn Muffin, fancy seeing you here on this fine piece of trail. You politely greet Garuk back. You're on the road to Kavash, right? You thought he had somewhere else to be. He explains that earlier today he learned he had to head towards Kavash for a business trip. It turns out as There was an important meeting he had to get to follow on one of his many amazing investments. It sounds as though his business is going to be very successful. Ask the nice, interesting orc what his job is anyway. Oh, I'm a professional highwayman. Garuk says he'll need that 5 gold back along with anything the lizard last gave you. He's got to get his rob on, if you know what he's saying. He's saying he's robbing you. Big eyes, cutie face, go! Then quickly reach for the potion and drink it while he's distracted. Okay, but you're kind of flipping out here. This guy's waving a fucking sword in your face and acting like you're supposed to be all calm and businesswomanly about this, and to make matters worse, you're going to try to outsmart him or something. You tell him, okay, you're reaching for your bag to get the money that you're going to give him. You put on your best kitten eyes to trying to either distract him from your potion or make him feel sympathy. Heck, you're kind of hoping for any effect at all here. Guru doesn't seem all that fazed by it. What's that sticking out of your bag? Is that a potion of invisibility? Those are expensive! They also make you so hard to see. Luckily, he always keeps a magic scroll of Detect Life packed between his angular rock-hard abs. Do you know how handy this is when someone tries to hide? It's incredibly handy, that's the answer. So let's not start bringing our magic crap into this apricot. Acerbic Avas wrote, reach into your bag as if to retrieve money, throw all those plants you picked up on the Captain Jerkface, stupid jerky-face, then run! Use Eye of Fear, says Plagarath. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Kadia dropped the sack of items in surprise. Hope that the potion of invisibility broke and has covered most of your items. Give Karuk any of the items that didn't get covered, and really hope you don't get raped here. Mayor Silly Biscuits wrote, seduce him in order to distract him. Rune wrote, break down crying, rubbing your poisoned ivy hands all over him. You don't exactly operate well under pressure, and a spur of the moment decision you try to execute every fallback plan at once. Suffice it to say, none of them are very effective. Grogu's getting tired of this, though. He has other meetings to get to. He tells you to get down on the ground or else he'll lop your head off and call it a day. The final Wraith wrote, oh, hell no! For the first time in your life, someone actually trusted you with money, and he's going to take all that away, leaving crying helplessly in the dirt? Cat, get your Pharaoh on. I mean, flip the fuck out with the claws and the biting. Or if that fails, ask if you can at least keep the letter you were supposed to deliver. Armok wrote, grab your stuff and run like, probably, fuck, towards any tree close enough to the road that the soldiers will get him if he tries to wait under it. Plagarath wrote, pick up the bag and try to hand it to him, but run in the last minute back to Anvil. Your Kashits, which are agile and quick. He's an orc with small legs and he won't be able to catch you. Call the guards while running too. Pharmacy wrote, kick his nuts! His ass may be rock hard, but what about his dangly bits? Shadow of the Lotus wrote, say that Quillweave gave you a quest. The book you ruined had a secret code encrypted in its pages that would tell you how to find a vast treasure. While you were unable to decode the book, Quillweave knows how to. She used to be a crook too, after all. You were planning on helping Quillweave get the book only to betray her once she had finished decoding it, so it'd be really cool if Garug didn't kill you and all. Boop. Your mind is filled with cunning plans and heroic maneuvers. You know there has to be some way out of this with your life intact. Maybe you could run or hide or trick him or fight him or... You're not a hero. You're just a scared, friendless nobody who doesn't want to bleed to death on the side of a road. You're being threatened by someone twice your size who last night threw a sword into a wall so hard you couldn't get it back out. You're sorry, you just can't do this. Garuk commends your choice. If everyone is as smart as you, he would almost never have to get his kill on. He proceeds to rifle through your belongings for anything of value. You ask him why he even gave you money if he was just going to take it back. Experience has taught him that this is a lot easier if victims trust him on their second encounter, and it worked well this time. He got at least a 600% return on his initial investment. He's kind of a stickler for bookkeeping, he explains. He'll even write you a receipt if you want. After a few minutes, his assessment of your inventory is complete. At your request, he leaves the letter in the book. He considers spinning an elaborate tale about how the book is actually a secret treasure map only you know how to translate, but it has your map, lockpick, and glass shard inside, and you don't want him to find out about them. At this point, you're cutting your losses and trying to keep whatever you can. Groog notices something beneath the blanket. What's this? 4-leaf clover! It's his lucky day! More so than usual, even. Anyway, pleasure conducting business with you, sweet cakes. This gap in his patrol doesn't last all day. The patrol doesn't last all day, though, so he's got to get his flea on if you know what he's saying. He's saying he's leaving. Take care and good luck earning some more money. And as fast as he showed up, Garug is gone. You feel awful. While you're glad you survived, a nagging voice in the back of your head insists that maybe you could have ran. Maybe you could have taken him in a fight. Maybe if you weren't such a worthless coward who can't do anything right, none of this would have happened. Why didn't you tell Quillweave about Garug's money? She would have known Fix's Homes is a stupid fake name. You're an idiot. Your life's probably not worth even the 30 septims you just lost. And to make matters worse, that clover is totally going to make Garug find more clovers or something until he has all the luck. Kadia, press onward. But I'm not going to press onward because I'm going to end this episode here. So, this has been Anachi Sasuke. This is episode 2 of Let's Read Prequel. In the next episode, we're going to press onward and maybe we're going to actually get to Kavach. So, if you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. And as usual, there'll be a link in the description to lead back to the comic if you want to check it out yourself. So, thanks again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later!